Good morning, and welcome to Redeemer Lutheran Church. I'm Pastor Gary Lodeholt. This week, I'm sharing some thoughts I have about Thanksgiving and giving thanks. And to begin today, I need to mention that my wife, Nan, and I have different tastes in what we choose to watch on TV. This is why we have two TVs and are often in different rooms in the evening. Nan likes to watch those house shows on HGTV, shows where someone buys a house or remodels a house to sell, or shows one to people who are looking for a home to buy. That's not really what I want to watch. It frustrates me when people are paying enormous sums of money for something the size of a closet, and I'm always intrigued that the person buying all that has something like a part-time job as a hot dog vendor. It defies belief. For my part, I'll often watch shows with drama or documentaries. To me, in these shows, I see the inner workings of people and often see larger truths revealed. I don't know, maybe Nan sees these shows as worthless as I see hers. On occasion, I'll become aware of a movie that I think might have redeeming value and could be something I might use here at the church sometime. And sure enough, I found one of those in a movie called A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. I'm mentioning all this because I bought a copy, and just this past Sunday I convinced Nan that she needed to see it. We watched it together, and she loved it. In case you don't know the movie, it stars Tom Hanks as Fred Rogers, or Mr. Rogers, as he is known to a whole generation of children and their parents. A hardened investigative reporter is given the job to interview Mr. Rogers for a piece to run in the magazine, and the movie brings us along as the reporter discovers that Mr. Rogers isn't a character. That's really the kind of person Fred Rogers was. He lived intentionally trying to love others and to be accepting and affirming of them. Over the course of the movie, this hardened reporter finds himself. There are many ways to describe what happens to him because of his relationship with Mr. Rogers. He grows up. He learns to love himself for the first time. And for the first time, he begins to really love others. Somehow, as we watch the movie, it happens to us too. There's a particular scene in the movie that struck me as I watched it this time, right here before Thanksgiving. Mr. Rogers and the reporter have gone out to a restaurant for lunch, and as they prepare to eat, Mr. Rogers asks the reporter, "Will you do something with me?" Then he goes on to explain that he often does a little exercise that helps him center and remind him of the important things in life. He invites the reporter into 1 minute of silence. Mr. Rogers says, "For 1 minute, let's think about the people who have loved us into being who we are. Those folks who have shaped us into us by their love." And then the movie is silent for a minute as we watch Mr. Rogers and the reporter, and in fact everyone in the restaurant, do this. And you can't help but do it too. The movie describes Mr. Rogers doing that exercise often, but maybe at least during this week of Thanksgiving, as our families gather, as we sit down with lavish meals before us, maybe it's worth 1 minute of silence to think about and to be thankful for those who have loved us into being who we are. It might be a parent, a brother or a sister, an aunt or uncle or a grandparent, perhaps a teacher or a Sunday school teacher or a neighbor who has shaped you. Most likely it has been many of those. This Thanksgiving, as we give thanks, take a minute to remember and be thankful for these folks. Be thankful for their love. Let their love inspire you in your living and in your loving. Thanks for watching, and remember to let this day belong to God.